Welcome to NBR Today. Analysts have mixed views on whether Trade Me should accept an indicative offer from Apex Partners to acquire 100% of its shares. The company announced the potential buyout today, saying the London-based investment firm made a preliminary, non-binding indicative proposal to acquire all shares at a cash price of $6.40 a share. The offer values Trade Me at $2.5 billion. The proposal might have come as music to the ears of some shareholders, as Trade Me has struggled to achieve growth over the recent years as it faces increasing competition. However, analysts are divided on whether the $6.40 per share offer is the best it can get. NBR's Grant Walker spoke to Devon Fund's Management Chief Investment Officer, Mark Brown.
Well, we'd like to maximise for our investors the price we get. We think that the business is a great New Zealand business and should go to premium. Currently is at par, so let's leave it at that.
4 business people who wish to remain anonymous have joined forces with specialist business incubator Astrolab to create a $5 million fund that will trigger a financial runway of up to $20 million for startup high-tech companies. The program, to run over the next 2 years, relies on $5 million from Astrolab's LP fund, underpinned by the newly formed Wellington-based investment group and Callaghan Innovations Tech Incubation Program. The runway model uses a 3-to-1 funding process, in which a minimum of $150,000 in private capital must be fronted for each investee. The government, through Callaghan Innovation, will then boost that investment by a multiple of 3 using a repayable loan. The loan repayments begin when the startups commence making sales. After leaders failed to release a joint statement at last weekend's Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meeting for the first time in the organisation's history, reports indicate the differences between China and the US were to blame. The two countries are not just engaged in a tit-for-tat trade war, imposing tariffs on one another's exports, but they're also at odds about the future of the World Trade Organization. Trade Minister David Parker says consensus between APEC members could not be achieved. He refuses to point the finger at either China or the US. So as the disagreement drags on, could New Zealand have to choose sides?
No, I don't think so. I think we're always going to have trade with both the United States and China, and they're both going to be important partners of us. Although one side or the other might like us to pick sides, we won't. We'll apply our principled approach to what we think is the proper route through the middle.
The Warehouse Group has partnered with artificial intelligence company Insight AI to deliver more efficient ways for retailers to both procure and sell their goods. Along with the Chemist Warehouse, the two retailers have signed with the New Zealand startup on a pilot program to make merchandising more commercially effective for retailers by augmenting retailers' buying decisions and giving shoppers what they really want. Insight AI chairman Xavier Mapuri spoke to NBR's Nathan Smith about why it chose the Warehouse Group for its pilot program.
Chosen them because I think when we started looking for these companies, we're originally going to start it in North America. And in February next year, we're exploring the rollout of the Insight AI findings to their stores. And being a pilot customer, they've been very good at giving us internal access on how they do retailing best, to machine learn their data, and to understand their very specific complexities in retail process. Mm-hmm. That's something that numbers and data can't really learn well in AI. And we're taking all the structured and unstructured information and being able to then produce recommendations ahead of time of against thousands of products in apparel and home and living, which store to place them in ahead of time, what's the exact stock quantity, at what price, and so on and so forth.
According to Rodney Hyde, it's often difficult to determine whether a politician is being stupid and naive or clever and calculating. Are they trying to solve a problem or just give the appearance they are? Take the Housing Minister, for example.
Is Phil Twyford naive and stupid? Or is it another thing? Is he actually clever and calculating? Because what he's done is he's generated the headlines that he's got rid of these tenancy fees, and you'll never hear the phrase again because it's forbidden. He's told people he's got rid of this $47 million in cost, and the voters quite probably believe him. And, of course, that's what's clever and calculating about this, because in politics, you don't actually have to solve a problem. You just have to give the appearance of solving the problem, and that's precisely what Phil Twyford's been busy doing.
And tomorrow, we talk to Business New Zealand Chief Executive Kirk Hope about what can be done to deal with the skills shortage. So for more on that and other stories, visit our website and have a great evening.
To unlock your 2 free articles a week, head to nbr.co.nz.